Today we're diving into the mystery of why orcas don't attack humans in the wild. Is it just because we taste bad? Stick around as we uncover some shocking truths about orcas and discuss why these incredible creatures don't deserve to be held in tanks. Orcas, or killer whales, are among the most intelligent creatures in the ocean. They live in close-knit family groups, called pods, and have complex social structures. Each pod has its own unique dialect, hunting techniques, and culture. It's these qualities that make orcas fascinating to us. But with all this intelligence and power, why don't orcas hunt humans in the wild? The name killer whale is quite misleading. There has never been a documented case of an orca killing a human in the wild. In fact, there have only been a handful of incidents involving wild orcas and humans, and most of these were not aggressive. So, what's going on here? The answer might lie in the orca's intelligence and their understanding of their surroundings. Orcas are highly curious and have been known to approach boats and even surfers, but these encounters are usually harmless. They seem to recognize humans as not being part of their natural prey, and they may even see us as fellow intelligent beings in the ocean. Some scientists believe that orcas have a form of empathy, or at least an understanding that humans are not food. Orcas are also highly specialized hunters. Different pods of orcas have different diets, and they learn their hunting techniques from their family members. For example, some orcas are known to hunt seals, while others primarily hunt fish. These hunting strategies are passed down through generations, and they don't include hunting humans. This learned behavior is another reason why orcas don't see humans as prey. Orcas' teeth are designed for gripping and tearing apart large prey like fish and marine mammals. Humans, with our bony structure and lack of blubber, are not an appealing food source for orcas. They prefer prey that provides a high-fat diet, like seals or whales. There's also the possibility that orcas are simply not interested in hunting something unfamiliar. In the ocean, orcas are top predators, but they tend to focus on prey they are used to. Humans are not typically found in the deep ocean where orcas hunt. Our occasional presence in the ocean does not make us a recognized food source, and orcas seem to be more curious about us than anything else. Unfortunately, the story is very different for orcas in captivity. In captivity, orcas have attacked and killed 4 people. The most famous cases involve orcas kept in marine parks like SeaWorld. These attacks are not because the orcas suddenly see humans as prey, but rather because of the extreme stress and frustration they experience in captivity. One of the most well-known incidents involved an orca named Tilikum. Captured in the wild in 1983, Tilikum was kept in a small tank and forced to perform tricks for decades. In 2010, Don Brancheau, a senior trainer at SeaWorld Orlando, was performing a show with Tilikum. As the show wound down, Dawn signaled Tilikum to meet her for a relationship session, which involves tactile interactions such as being scratched, hugged, and stroked. Whales at SeaWorld typically have these sessions several times a day, but it was during this session that tragedy struck. Controversy arises regarding whether Tilikum grabbed Brancheau by the arm, ponytail, or head, but he ultimately pulled her into the pool and held her under the water for 45 minutes, resulting in her tragic death. During the violent attack, one of Dawn's arms was bitten off, and she was also scalped. This wasn't the first time that Tilikum had been involved in a fatal incident. In 1991, at Sealand of the Pacific in British Columbia, Canada, Tilikum and 2 other orcas killed a trainer named Keltie Byrne after she fell into their tank. After many years of performing 8 shows a day, 7 days a week, Tilikum dragged Keltie to the bottom of the pool, where he and the other orcas stripped her of all her clothing and left bite marks and bruises on her skin. It took almost 2 hours to retrieve her body. Not long after Keltie's death, Sealand of the Pacific was closed down, and its whales were purchased by SeaWorld. Probably the most mysterious fatality occurred in 1999 when a man called Daniel Dukes was found dead in an orca tank at SeaWorld Orlando. Dukes was a drifter with a love for nature who had a history of petty theft and general vagrancy. At some point during the night of July 6th, Dukes, who had hidden inside the park after it closed, went to the whale pool where Tilikum was held. The following morning, his body was discovered in the water by SeaWorld staff, draped over Tilikum's back as the whale swam around. Because SeaWorld claimed to have no CCTV footage of the pool that night, it is not clear exactly what happened. His unclothed body, which was found with bite marks, suggests a violent encounter. However, SeaWorld claims the cause of death was an accidental drowning. As SeaWorld is covered in cameras, both inside and outside the pools, it does seem strange that there is absolutely no tape of this incident. There are also trainers on shift with the whales 24/7, which raises the question of why he wasn't found sooner. And finally, in 2009, during a training session with an orca named Keltie, Alexis Martinez, a senior orca trainer at Loro Parque in Tenerife, Spain, was violently killed. Keltie had been repeatedly refusing to complete a variety of behaviors. He then pulled Martinez under the water and rammed the trainer's body into the bottom of the pool, causing massive internal injuries, which were unsurvivable. These incidents highlight a critical difference between orcas in the wild and those in captivity. In the wild, orcas have vast territories to roam, family pods to interact with, and natural prey to hunt. They are constantly stimulated by their environment and their social interactions. But in captivity, they are confined to tanks that are only a fraction of the size of their natural range. They are separated from their families, sometimes taken from them at a young age, and have little mental or physical stimulation. This lack of stimulation and social structure leads to boredom, frustration, and, in many cases, aggression. Orcas are not naturally aggressive towards humans, but captivity can change that. It's a heartbreaking transformation, turning these intelligent social animals into ticking time bombs. Studies have shown that orcas in captivity have shorter lifespans and suffer from numerous health issues, including collapsed dorsal fins, which are rarely seen in the wild, but are common in captive orcas. Some organizations are now working to retire captive orcas to sea sanctuaries, where they can live out their lives in a more natural environment. But there is still a long way to go. The practice of capturing orcas and breeding them in captivity needs to end. These intelligent beings deserve to live in the ocean, not in a tank. Orcas are intelligent, curious, and social animals that have evolved to hunt specific prey in their environment. They don't see us as food, and in the wild, they have no reason to fear us. But in captivity, it's a different story. It's a story of confinement, frustration, and sometimes violence. It's a story that needs to change. Thank you for watching this episode of Creature Carnage. If you learned something new today, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Let's work together to spread awareness about the plight of captive orcas and push for a future where all orcas can live free in the wild, where they belong.